So we'll delay opening town meeting until 7:15. Start, I'd like to ask everyone to please stand, face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce the folks on the stage. I'm Tom Horgan, the moderator. To my left is John Caney, Town Clerk. To my right is the Board of Selectmen, Chairman Pauline Connolly. Chris, you Vice Chair?
He's not here.
Okay. Chris Hillman, Janice Livingston, and our Town Administrator, Robert Pompriand. And to my left, the Financial Commission, Scott Hood, Chair, John Kilcommons, Vice Chair, and Brian Muldoon, Member. And actually, this is Brian's last town meeting as a member of the FinCom. He's resigned effective Thursday night. Thank you, Brian. Okay. And John, you want to read the charge?
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the special fall town meeting. Town of Ayer, special fall town meeting warrant, Ayer Town Hall, Great Hall, 1 Main Street, Ayer, Mass. Monday, October 28, 2013, 7 p.m., Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Middlesex, Essex. Greetings. In the name of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, you are hereby directed to notify and warn the inhabitants of the town of Ayer, qualified to vote in town elections and affairs, to meet at the Great Hall of the Ayer Town Hall located at 1 Main Street, Ayer, Mass. 01432 on Monday, the 28th day of October 2013 at 7 o'clock in the evening, then and there to act on the following articles. Hereof fail not, and make due return of this warrant with your doings thereof to the town clerk before the date appointed of said meeting. Given under our hands this 8th day of October AD 2013, Pauline Conley, Chairman, Gary J. Luca, Vice Chairman, Christopher R. Hillman, Clerk, James M. Fay, Member, Janice L. Livingston, Member. A true copy attest, John C. Caney II, date October 9, 2013, Town Clerk, Tax Collector. As directed in the foregoing warrant, I have this day posted 3 attested copies in 3 public places, one of which was the Town Hall at least 14 days before said meeting. All is herein directed. Robert D. Friedrich, Constable, date October 9th, 2013.
Thank you, John. Okay, two items. The seats along the walls here is the non-voting section. So if anyone's sitting in there, you cannot vote in those seats. And also, could ask everyone to please turn off your cell phones. Okay, Article 1, former fire station. To see if the town will vote to transfer the care, custody, maintenance, and control of the town-owned land and improvements thereon, described below and known as the Central Fire Station property, from the board or officer currently maintaining such property for its current purpose to the Board of Selectmen for the purpose of disposition by sale or lease, and further to authorize the Board of Selectmen to sell or lease for a period in excess of 3 years all or a portion of the land with improvements thereon, shown on Assessors Map 26 as Lot 184, being all or a portion of the land described in a deed recorded in the Middlesex Registry of Deeds, upon such terms and conditions as the Board of Selectmen shall determine to be appropriate, or take any action thereon or in relation thereto.
Mr. Moderator,
Ms. Conley.
I move the town vote to transfer the care, custody, maintenance, and control of the town-owned land and improvements described below and known as the Central Fire Station as written in the warrant.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Moderator,
Ms. Conley.
as town meeting will recall, last fall we brought forward a similar article for your consideration, which was amended to only allow the Board of Selectmen to lease or I think the other term was rent the fire station. We attempted that. We put out an RFP. We extended the deadline on the RFP. We had a couple of interested parties take the RFP out but never return it. So we bring forward basically the same article asking town meeting to give the Board of Selectmen permission to find either an owner, a buyer, or somebody who wants to lease the building on a long term. The distinct probability is that we will sell the building because to improve the building is upwards of several $1,000,000, and whether somebody who wants to rent it is willing to invest that kind of money remains to be seen. So the purpose of this article is simply to ask your permission to give the board the opportunity to dispose of the building somehow that will benefit the town.
Any further discussion? Yes, sir.
Jeffrey Mays, Pleasant Street. As Pauline did say, this article was up before us. I don't know if it was last town meeting or not, last town meeting. I stood up at that town meeting and objected strongly to this. I'm going to object strongly to it again. I do not understand in the 10 years or so that this has gone on why this building has not been listed as historic. It fully qualifies. If we sell it, there is no guarantee that somebody isn't going to just tear the building down. It needs a lot of work. I fully admit that. It needs millions of dollars of work. But we have fine examples. One we're standing in right here of a building that was in horrible shape that we were able to restore. We have other buildings on Main Street, the Pleasant Street School. There is no reason why we should be doing this unless the building is preserved. If there's some way, there's nothing to stop us or stop someone from tearing the building down. And I think it's a building worth saving. I know it can be saved because we've done it before. We've done it with this building, Pleasant Street, the Nutting Building. The list goes on and on. So I would suggest to everyone here, I don't understand why it hasn't been done before. It needs to be registered. At that point in time, I would fully support this article. At this point in time, I don't think anyone here should vote yes. Thank you.
Any further discussion?
George Bacon, Pleasant Street. I'd like to ask, in this note it says that the RFP was put out on advice of the Fire Station Reuse Committee. When did that advice come? Because as a member of that committee, it was never discussed at any of our meetings.
Mr. Moderator.
Ms. Conley.
I'm sorry, George, I didn't hear when was the RFP put out?
No, when was the advice to put it out given from the Fire Station Reuse Committee?
Mr. Fay is not here, but I don't know that the Fire Station Reuse Committee actually gave that advice. The
That's
board.
what it says here.
Was it from the Fire Station Reuse Committee? Yeah, when we discussed it at a meeting, that is, I believe, or as Mr. Pomperian says, he believes Mr. Fay indicated. However, we did vote to do that unanimously almost a year ago at this point.
Okay.
Or I shouldn't say a year ago, I think it was February of 2013, but 9 months ago.
Okay. Mr. Moderator, we can move to amend the article by deleting from the fourth line the word sale or, and from the fifth line, sell or.
Moved and seconded. Do you have that in writing, please?
No, I don't.
I anticipated the same thing.
Remove sell or.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to amend the article by striking out the words sell or lease after the words disposition by and then subsequently by the Board of Selectmen, subsequent to both of those. Any discussion on the amendment?
Mr. Moderator,
Mr. Mann.
the fall town meeting in 2012 gave approval to the Board of Selectmen to seek adaptive reuse by municipal use and to transfer the custody to the Board of Selectmen for general municipal purposes. did not authorize sale or lease of the building, although it did request it, but it was amended out. The only action the board has taken is to issue an RFP for sale or lease of the building. And this RFP contains so many conditions and restrictions that it's not surprising that no one responded to it. I don't believe the Board of Selectmen has done their due diligence in carrying out the wishes of the fall 2012 town meeting. So I don't think we should sell it until they do. And I think we cannot afford to leave it sitting idle, the building sitting idle until then either. So I think leasing it is a reasonable option until such time as all options have been explored.
Mr. Moderator.
Ms. Connolly.
The RFP did, in fact, contain the exact wording from October 2012's Fall Town Meeting. It included the use, municipal use, or the words, I'm sorry, municipal use, lease, or otherwise dispose of. We did include the word sell as well, but we also had the municipal use, lease, long-term lease. There were historic restrictions in there. It was, I don't know how many pages, a good 20-odd pages of an RFP. Do you have a copy of it there?
Yes, I do.
Do you have a copy of the RFP?
Yes.
And does it not say in the first paragraph for municipal use?
In the introduction, but
Yes.
that is not part of the criteria for evaluation.
Criteria for valuation is a different component of the RFP than actual use of the building.
Right,
If
but
you
the-
look at the first paragraph, I'm sorry, Mr.
Excuse me,
Moderator.
the discussion is on the amendment,
Fine.
not on the...
But Mr. Bacon's point was that we did not include the municipal use or the language from the Fall Town Meeting, which is not true. The RFP does contain that language.
I disagree. I don't think the way it's worded that it's barely mentioned.
Is there any other further discussion on the amendment? To striking out the words sell or lease twice in the article. There being none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? No. And the ayes of the ears of the moderator, the noes have it. The amendment is not carried. Any further discussion on the amendment? Mr. Maxon.
I stopped because I thought I heard you saying any further discussion on the amendment, but the amendment's dead. We're talking about the main article. Yes. Mr. Moderator, I'm in a position of been there, done that with respect to this article. I was chairman of the Ayer Historical Commission for a roughly 20-plus year period when the commission had Ayer custody and control of the Pleasant Street School. That school is much bigger than the Central Fire Station, 24,000 square feet of floor space. We were told at the time by the so-called experts, oh, that building's going to be a money pit, we got to sell it. That building is wood frame construction. There's no way you're going to be able to stabilize it. And besides, not only wood frame, balloon frame construction, that makes it even worse. If only you had a masonry building, it would be a piece of cake. Be able to renovate it at virtually no expense at all. This has to do with why this article is very inappropriate for this building, Mr. Moderator. So we managed in 20 years, at not a single dime of local tax expense, to keep that building in use, get it renovated. So in this case, the people in charge of this building are saying, we can't do anything with it. We had enough sense, which the Historical Commission didn't, to hire a consultant to tell us how impossible the job would be, and so it must be impossible. And we're telling town meeting now, we can't do anything with the building, so we have to sell it, with the possible consequence of having it torn down. There's no restriction whatever, because as Mr. Mays said, there's no historical preservation for the building. If it's put on the historic register, that provides a level of protection for the historic value of the building, and it would be a lot easier to say, okay, let's get into some other ownership, which would know what to do with it. But I think now, to yield to the present people in charge who are saying, well, gosh, we can't do anything with it, so we got to get rid of it, is absolutely the wrong thing for this meeting to do. Either they are incompetent, or they simply don't want to do anything. And that may sound harsh, but I'm speaking from experience. I know that's the case because we were able to do something, and do something very, very good, with a building we were told had more liabilities to it than this one does. Thank you.
Mr. May.
Mr. Moderator, I'd like to move to amend the article to add at the end of the article, all proceeds from the sale of the property shall be deposited in the Community Preservation Fund.
Been moved and seconded to, thank you. And this is after where it says the selectmen shall determine to be appropriate?
Yes.
Okay. So you're adding all proceeds from the sale of the property shall be deposited in the Community Preservation Fund after the word appropriate at the end of the article.
Yes.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion on the amendment?
Mr. Moderator.
Go ahead, Mr. Mayor.
Some people may argue that the fund should be used to offset our upcoming expenses, but I believe that we're always going to have upcoming expenses to deal with. The relatively small amount that we stand to receive from the sale of the property probably won't make a noticeable effect in the overall budget. This town handles our finances very well. We don't need to sell off our possessions to keep the lights on. We're not like Detroit. So I think if we're going to divest ourselves of a community resource, then we should use the funds to invest in other community resources. If we return the proceeds to the general fund to be spent on whatever, the money will be gone, and the next year no one will ever remember that we had it.
Thank you. Any further discussion on the amendment? I'm going to hold on one moment. There being none. All those in favor of amending the article by placing the phrase, all proceeds from the sale shall be deposited in the Community Development Fund, Community Preservation Fund, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say no. No. In the ayes of the moderator, the noes have it. The article is not amended. Any further discussion on the original article? Yes, sir.
Mr. Moderator, Bernie Gretton. Do we have a rough idea over these 10 years what it roughly cost us to maintain that? Plus, I'm counting the studies that were done and everything else. A rough figure?
Mr. Moderator,
Mr. Hillman.
it costs approximately $7,000 a year to leave it shuttered the way it is right now.
That's what it's cost us roughly?
Roughly just in electricity and whatever else.
And what about the studies and all that type of stuff they have
Well,
done?
I have in front of me what it would cost to rehabilitate, but if you'd like some general estimates. But in terms of just leaving it the way it has been since 2006, it's about $7,000 a year, excuse me.
I think that's been a waste of our money all these years to 10 years. And we have an excellent finance committee. They recommended that we sell this, and I think we should sell it. The town can use this money. Anybody that's been through that is deplorable. It needs, I believe the last figure I heard was $1.5 million probably to get it somewhat up to standards, and that's not even the whole thing. So I think that this definitely needs to be put in the hands of selectmen to sell and taken off the rolls, and hopefully we get something good in there. That's how I feel.
Any further discussion on this matter?
Mr. Moderator?
Mr. Hillman.
Just to elaborate, the building's been closed since 2006. We did some original, I should say the Fire Station Reuse Committee, to restore just the outside appearance, just to restore it, $80,000. To stabilize the interior, just to stabilize, $500,000. To design interior to suit uses, $800,000 to $1.1 million. Total estimated construction cost, $1.3 to $1.6 million. I could support renovating this building if we had a use for it. I don't see a use for it. I don't see town government growing to the point where we need to expand over to the school building, to the fire station. It has sat for such a long time. It's beyond repair, in my opinion, in terms of what the town can do. I would be perfectly willing to put something in, if possible, a deed restriction to keep the aesthetics of the outside, similar to what they do in Boston with old fire stations, where they turn them into apartments or whatnot, but keep the aesthetic appearance of the outside of the building to what it is now. But in terms of the town holding onto the building, really no financial benefit, and I think it's just a cost nightmare for us to sustain it the way it is. Thank you.
Anyone who wants to sell this building has,
Address it to me.
oh, sorry, Mr. Moderator.
Yes, sir.
Anyone who wants to sell the old fire station has obviously never been in this building before, and they've never been to the Pleasant Street School before. Okay? I totally disagree with the BOS. The building can be saved. It doesn't need to be saved by the town, but the town should have an obligation to protect the building. It doesn't mean we have to own it. And again, I don't understand why in all these years the committee has not done or acted on this. Again, it won't cost us any more for 2 more months for somebody to file an application to protect the building. I'll vote yes then, but until such time, vote no. Or go to the Pleasant Street School and find out what can be done with no cost to the town.
Mr. Moderator.
Ms. Conley.
The Pleasant Street School is a perfect example of what can be done to rehabilitate an historic building. However, the town did not do that. The town does not own that property, and the town did contribute to the cost of that renovation from the Community Preservation Fund. But we also sold that property to a private developer and the Ayer Housing Authority, which is not the town of Ayer. So the comparison with the Pleasant Street School is a good one in terms of what can be done with a building, but that doesn't mean that a private developer won't do that with the old fire station, just as it did with the Pleasant Street School. This building was never up for sale, and the town invested millions of dollars in renovating it. So it is not the best comparison. But there can be deed restrictions, there can be historical preservation restrictions, there can be all types of restrictions placed on the renovation and use of that building, but we can't do anything if you don't let us.
Ms. Livingston.
I'm going to try this without the microphone. Can you hear me? Because there seems to be a vibration.
You gotta have it on the TV.
Oh, I'm sorry. Got to have it on the TV. I went to Pleasant Street School, and I remember that fire station. So I have very fond memories, and I can understand the emotional desire to keep this building. I would like to myself, but let's be honest, nobody's clamoring on the door to take this thing. So we need to transfer it so that we can get this building properly disposed of. So we need to vote yes. I agree, there are amendments we can make to make sure that aesthetically it stands tall as the old fire station that we recognize, but we need to do something with this. And it's been 10 years and it's rotting. We need to move on.
Mr. Maxon.
Mr. Moderator, Selectman Conley is right. All these safeguards can be built into any type of deed, but this article does not require them. So I agree with Mr. Mays. One thing would be to have it put in the National Register of Historic Places. That procedure was begun some time ago, but was never followed through on by the committee or anybody else in care, custody, and control of the building. With the Pleasant Street School, it took us 20 years in town ownership, in uninterrupted use, which the Historical Commission managed somehow to get people in there to renovate it and to use it at no expense to the town while the town owned it for twice the length of time Ms. Conley just referred to for the fire station. So I believe we should vote this article down. We'll still be operating under the article we passed at the previous town meeting, and in the meantime, if we want to come back to town meeting with an article that would have written into it all the safeguards Ms. Conley referred to, then I think town meeting could vote with more confidence and vote yes. Thank you.
Any further discussion? There being none, just so you know, this vote requires a 2/3 vote to pass. So all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? No. I will I'd ask everybody I'm going to ask for a standing count. And could I ask Mr. Swanfeld and Mr. Kelly to come on up, please?
They didn't give out the John card. Well, of course, the World Series won't be going on to spring town meeting. Priorities are what they are.
Okay, just so everybody knows, the chairs along the walls are the non-voting section. So if you're in there, you won't be counted. All those in favor of this article, please stand. Okay, may be seated. All those opposed to this article, please stand.
But he handles all of it.
The vote was 44 in the affirmative, 13 in the negative. The article is agreed to. More than two-thirds having voted in the affirmative.
What was it, 44 to 13? 44 to 13?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Article 2, to see if the town will vote to accept the layouts of the following street as a public way, the metes and bounds of which are on file in the office of the town clerk, and to authorize the Board of Selectmen to acquire by gift, purchase, or eminent domain, fee, interest, or easement in such public ways and any and all easements related thereto, and further to authorize the Board of Selectmen to enter into all agreements and take all related actions necessary and appropriate to carry out this acquisition, on such terms and conditions as the Board of Selectmen deem appropriate, or take any action thereon or in relation thereto.
Mr. Moderator,
Mr. Hillman.
I move the town vote to accept the layouts of the following street as a public way that meets and bounds of which are on file in the office of the town clerk and as read in the warrant.
Any
Easy
further,
Street, Article 2.
any further discussion? Any discussion? There being none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? No. Motion carries. Article 3, Crabtree Wastewater Pump Station. To see if the town will appropriate the sum of $70,000 from the Wastewater Enterprise Fund surplus for the purpose of replacing the Crabtree Wastewater Pumping Station, including any design or engineering services related thereto, or take any action thereon or in relation thereto.
Mr. Moderator,
Ms. Livingston.
I move the town vote to appropriate the sum of $70,000 from the wastewater enterprise fund surplus for purposes as read by the moderator.
Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Ms. Bedurtha.
Mr. Moderator, does the town own this property?
To the best of my knowledge, yes. It's an existing pump station we already own.
Okay. And when was the last time we did this for this pump station?
Mr. Bonpriand.
Mr. Moderator, through you, unless there's objection, I would respectfully ask the Superintendent of Public Works, Mr. Wetzel, could best answer the questions pertaining to this article.
Actually, Mr. Wenzel is a town appointee. He does not need a unanimous consent, so he can address the town.
Thank you. I had a nice presentation I'll put together. I would have showed you how the station worked and what was wrong with it. This station was built by the developer in the early 90s. What we discovered this fall was the pumps kept failing, and upon further inspection, the deck, what it is, it's a package pumping station, so it comes all put together on a metal plate. All the piping and everything's all connected to it, all the electrical connections, and it was corroding from underneath, so the plate that all the pumps were sitting on was starting to rust away, and that was causing problems with the operation of the pump. So we put out we looked at the option of repairing it versus replacing it, and it's a little bit more expensive to replace it, but then you get a new station, and also to replace it we can buy a whole new station and switch them out in 1 or 2 days, whereas if we had to rebuild and repair the station, it would be out of service for several weeks, and so we'd have to be pumping it out with a septic tank every day. So, and this was also in our 5-year capital plan to be repaired. A couple things that we have in the new design is we're going to put a stainless steel plate in so that it won't corrode, and we're also going to have ventilation in the sewer wet well. We have bid the project, and we have a low bid price of $64,538, and so we're requesting $70,000 so that we have a little bit of contingency in case there's some unforeseen conditions.
Okay, who is the developer?
It's Crabtree Development, which I understand went through a couple different owners. The contractor put it in who was on the information that I had, the name was Crowley.
Okay. Is there any culpability financially on his part?
Not that I've been able to find. We've looked through some of the planning board records and haven't found anything. I talked to one of the people that was involved in the development, and he said that there wasn't, but we haven't found any documents. Typically what will happen is you would have a bond on a project, a maintenance bond or something like that, and it doesn't seem like there's any records of that.
Okay, how did we come to own that then?
It's similar to what we just did with Easy Street. Easy Street doesn't have a booster station or a wastewater pumping station, but when the town accepts a project that's gone through the whole subdivision process, we accept all of the infrastructure within it. We can make arrangements so that when we do accept a project, if we don't want to accept the station and they have to form a homeowners association to own it and maintain it, they can do that. Similar to Autumn Ridge condo development, they own their station up there. But in this case, I'm sure it was part of the acceptance of the project.
I think to save money for the town that the builders should be culpable in the future.
In the future, we'll definitely have some maintenance fees associated with that. We're also trying to minimize the number of stations that we have. We've got 20 pumping stations in town. It's an awful lot for a town this size.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Members passed. Motion's passed. Article 4. Article 4, adoption of the Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 40, Section 8G. To see if the town will vote to accept the provisions of Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 40, Section 8G, Police Mutual Aid, or take any action thereon or in relation thereto.
Mr. Moderator,
Mr. Hillman.
I move the town to vote to accept the provisions of Mass General Law, Chapter 40, Section 8G, Police Mutual Aid, or take any action thereon or relation thereto.
Okay, so moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on this article? Mr. Pontbriand.
Mr. Moderator, through you to the town meeting, just very quickly to explain what this is. Around the middle part of this past summer, Chief Murray came to me and asked if the town had adopted Mass General Law, Chapter 40, Section 8G, which was passed by the General Court in 1972. And through the chief's diligent search at the police station, the town clerk in the vault in the records of the town clerk's office, and myself and Miss Lewis in the Board of Selectmen's office, there had been indications that the town had adopted the Mass General Law, but we could not find an official document to that effect. And what the adoption of this law does by town meeting, if town meeting adopts it, it permits the town of Ayer's Police Department to enter into mutual aid agreements with other police and law enforcement organizations, which the town of Ayer has done and continues to do since 1972. So respectfully, through the moderator, this is more of a housekeeping matter where we could not find the actual document of the adoption. The chief has recommended in the Board of Selectmen town meeting's consideration to adopt it for the record.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Being none, the article is passed. Article 5, transfer from capital utilization, townwide telephone upgrade. To see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $45,000 from the Capital Stabilization Fund for the purposes of upgrading the town's telephone system for the DPW, library, police, and town hall, including but not limited to design, equipment purchase and installation, or take any action thereon or in relation thereto.
Mr. Moderator,
Ms. Livingston.
I move the town vote to transfer the sum of $45,000 from the Capital Stabilization Fund for the purposes of upgrading the town's telephone system as read by the moderator.
Second.
Any discussion? Ms. Bedurtha.
Okay. Can we get the telephone people to pitch in to pay for this or no? Verizon or whoever owns the telephones.
Mr. Pontbriand.
Mr. Moderator, through you to Ms. Bedurtha and to the town meeting, the request put forth is to acquire new telephones for the DPW, the library, the police, and town hall. Telephone companies such as Verizon, AT&T, and so forth would not do this work pro bono or as a donation or contribution. If the town seeks to update its phone systems, the town would have to purchase them. Now, I will say that with this price, through the moderator, that there is a municipal discount in that, but there is no mechanism, say for Verizon or so forth, to donate to the town.
Okay. I just want to add a comment. Could they fix the pole across the church?
That's out of order,
Okay.
Elizabeth. Any further discussion? There being none, this requires a two-thirds vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? I heard a no. We have to have a standing count. Can I ask my two counters to please come up again? Still sworn in? Okay. All those in favor, please stand. Okay, please have a seat. All those opposed, please stand. Obviously, it's 58 to 1. The motion carries. Okay, Article 6. Transfer article from the Board of Selectmen salary to IT departmental budget. To see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $2,506 from the Board of Selectmen salary budget to the IT departmental budget, and to vote to transfer the sum of $4,000 from capital stabilization for the purposes of funding the Town Hall Mondo Pad, computer, video screen, and stand for Town Hall, including but not limited to purchase and installation or take any action thereon or in relation thereto.
Mr. Moderator,
Ms. Conley.
I move the town vote to transfer the sum of $2,506 from the Board of Selectmen budget to the IT department budget, and transfer the sum of $4,000 from capital stabilization for the purposes of funding the Town Hall Mondo Pad, as read by the moderator.
Any discussion?
Mr. Moderator,
Ms. Conley.
in the foyer in the hallway, you saw the Mondo Pad in operation. Most of us hadn't seen it before tonight either. This is ADA compliant, will be used in the large meeting room for all meetings that take place in there. It will display documents that are being discussed and reviewed. It will eliminate the screen that's always falling down or someone's tripping over it. It will eliminate the need for someone to be there to operate the projector. It'll be remote operated. It will hopefully eliminate the need for Mrs. Lewis to make as many copies of the documents that she needs, as well as other boards and committees who will be able to use it. So we are advancing the town into the 21st century, and hope you'll join us in making this available. And we'll also have it for town meeting, no matter where we are. And as you see, it's on a stand. The stand comes with it. So, as Mr. Jasperson suggested earlier tonight, we might even be able to have movie night sometime.
Any further discussion? Mr. Maxon.
Mr. Moderator, I have a question about one of the capabilities of this monopad. It's always been a question whether we could have the townspeople on TV see what we were projecting on the screen any better by having the projector be capable of linking directly, electronically, into the TV system, so they didn't have to project it onto the screen and then visually pick it up with a camera. And sometimes it was yes, sometimes it was no, depending upon issues I don't have any knowledge about. Will this system allow us as a town to get this information directly electronically into the TV system so the people at home can see it as clearly as at the meeting? Will we still have to put it on the screen and then capture it on the camera?
Okay. Okay, thanks, Frank.
Mr. Moderator?
Actually, yeah,
Okay.
He has his hand up first. Yeah,
Mr.
sorry.
Moderator,
Yes.
I don't need to introduce myself again. I'm also a member of the IT committee. I'm actually the one who first put forth the Mondo Pad. To answer Frank's question, yes, we can take a video output, feed it into APAC system so that they can switch between live cameras and what the MondoPad's displays is doing. Essentially, the MondoPad is really a Windows computer with a touch-sensitive overlay. It's a large touchscreen like a tablet, an iPad, or Windows. We were really looking for a solution that would not interfere with the aesthetics of the building, that we could use in multiple places, and it was the most logical device that we could come up with and stuff. And I would encourage us to vote for this. So I'm asking everyone to vote yes now. So don't go against me on this one.
Ms. Livingston.
Actually, I want to back up what this gentleman has just said and just remind everybody that right now, the way it stands is you can't see anything. You can't see the documents, and as Selectman Connolly has pointed out, we'll be able to pull it up, and so you're going to have better access to the knowledge that is going forth. And again, she's used one of my favorite phrases, it is the 21st century.
Any further discussion? This also requires a 2/3 vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? There's being none, it's unanimous, therefore it passed. Mr. Swanfeld, can I ask you to hold off one moment? Before he makes his motion, I would like to remind everybody we have a special election next Tuesday. I ask everybody to urge you to go out and vote. Mr. Swanfeld. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Go Red Sox!